Hey everybody, this is Brina, and I want to welcome you back to the Midweek Motivation. Pray all is well. Thank you as always for tuning in to the Word every week, Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern. Feel free to like and share this video with your family and friends, your Facebook or your social media family and friends. I would love for you to do that, and I would also love for you to comment. Tell me what you think about the word, how it has impacted you, prayerfully in a positive way. Feel free to do that. So the word today is coming from James chapter 1, and I want to read just a few verses, 22 through 25. And I encourage you to read the entire chapter, James 1. James talks a lot about the tongue and how we are to behave as believers. Faith without works, we know that passage comes from James. So the book of James is a really good book for us to read, but I encourage you to at least read chapter 1. But verses 22 to 25 says, they say, "Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like a man who looks at his face in a mirror, and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. But the man who looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues to do this, not forgetting what he has heard, but doing it, he will be blessed in what he does." And so the word for today, or the phrase for today, is hearing and doing. Have you ever met someone who says, yeah, I'm going to do this, but then they never follow through on their word? They never do what they say they're going to do. We might say, this person, he or she, they ain't got no word, right? We can't depend on them. They're not trustworthy. And this is similar to what James is saying here, hearing and doing. Hearing what the word says and then actually following through, as opposed to just hearing it and then going away. So if we only listen to the word, it says in James 1 and 22, and we're not doing it, we're only fooling ourselves. We think we may go off and say, yeah, I got this, and put our Bibles down and keep going, but never implementing, never doing what the word instructs us to do. And James uses the analogy of a mirror. So when we're getting dressed in the morning, we go to the mirror because we want to make sure our hair is right, that we look okay, we have on nice jewelry. So we look in the mirror because we want to act on what we see. We want to make whatever adjustments we need to make before we go out into into the world. So this morning, I went in the mirror and I fixed my hair. I tried to fix my hair. So I didn't just look in the mirror and say, oh, look at my hair, and then I walked away. I actually tried to do something, and I made whatever adjustments I needed to make. And so why should we even look in the mirror if we're not going to do something about what we see? So this is what God is saying. When we look into the word and we hear the word and we see the adjustments that we need to make, we shouldn't just go off and say, oh, that's good, that sounds nice, but we should actually do something about what we've heard. We should follow through on what God has told us to do. And the word says here that if we do that, then we will be blessed. James also talks about the tongue, and so that kind of is in line with what I said earlier, saying what we mean and meaning what we say. And he says in verse 26 of this chapter, keeping a tight rein on his tongue. If we don't do that, we're fooling ourselves. So if we don't do what we say, we're fooling ourselves. If we don't act on what the word says, we're fooling ourselves into thinking that, oh, I'm good, I got this, I've read it, check the box that I've completed my devotion for today. I've only heard it, but if I don't act on it and do something about it, it is meaningless. So the word for today, hearing and doing, it's important that we not only listen to the word, hear the word, but then we apply the word to our lives every day. So I hope that word has blessed you today, hearing and doing. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week.